Good morning and welcome to Wild Wednesday here at the Kansas City Zoo. I'm your host, Allison, and I'm here with Lindsay.
Hello.
We're in a very fun place here at the zoo in the Discovery Barn. But the Discovery Barn has got a brand new friend that Kansas City has been waiting for a very long time.
Yes.
Who do we have right behind us?
Well, we have Arnie, our new Linnaeus two-toed sloth. He is currently, finally woke up and is working on eating some snacks.
What kind of treats are on top of that skewer that he's
So he
got?
has a variety of fruits and vegetables. He has pear, apple, sweet potato, and bell peppers.
He's a healthy snacker.
He is. Very healthy diet.
I like it. All right, so tell me, where would we actually find him out in the wild instead of in Discovery Barns?
So these sloths would be found in the southern part of Central America, the northern part of South America.
Okay.
So Bolivia, Colombia, Brazil, Honduras.
Very cool.
They would be in the canopy of the rainforest.
Okay. Oh, so they like to live in trees.
Yes.
Very cool. So you guys have created or designed an exhibit that is capable of him living in. He likes to live high in trees, and you've done that. So what else about this exhibit is like his home?
So the biggest thing is the trees.
Okay.
That's what they live in. That's how they're built. That's how their hands and their claws are designed. They cannot live on the ground. They can't live anywhere else.
Okay.
So it's designed to where he can move around by crawling. However, he will get on the ground and move around.
Okay.
And can crawl around on the ground and eat some of horticulture's plants. And he also goes down to the ground to go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom. Okay, so you mentioned that they don't often go to the ground. They prefer to be in trees. What's so weird about them being on the ground? Are they not as graceful? Do they move kind of silly?
Exactly. Even weirder on the ground than in a tree. So their hands are permanently kind of hooked.
Okay.
So you can imagine if all four of your hands and feet were hooked, you're not going to walk on the ground very well.
Okay.
So when he is on the ground, he kind of crawls and scoots. So even slower than when he's in a tree. So in the wild, they're not safe on the ground. So
Okay.
that's why they want to be in a tree, because they want to stay safe.
Oh, okay, so predators can get them if they're on the
Exactly.
ground. Now, I noticed that, look at that face.
I
Oh no! But I noticed that you said they're even more like their namesake when they're on the ground. They're slower. So it's kind of the wondering of, which came first, the name or the word? These little guys. But sloth, to be sloth-like, what do you think that means for this animal?
Well, most people think that means you're lazy. But really, these animals aren't lazy. They're just slow moving.
Okay.
And the reason they do that is because they're conserving energy. They don't eat a lot of calories. It's mainly fruits and veggies, actually not even veggies. You don't see veggies high up in a tree. Usually fruits, flowers, leaves, so stuff that doesn't have a lot of calories.
Okay.
So if they moved really fast, like say a primate, they would burn off all that energy. So they move really slow to conserve that energy.
So they're actually really smart.
Yes.
They're very smart animals. Now, Kansas City's been very excited to have our little friend join us, and it looks like he's enjoying his brand new home. Now, I look around the exhibit, I see all the beautiful foliage. Do you think that's probably something he enjoys and he might be used to if he were out in the wild?
So I can't say if all of these plants, and the difference in the wild, he would eat what's up in the tree.
Okay.
All of these plants live on the ground,
Okay.
so he would not eat
Ever see
these
them.
plants.
Okay.
But, I mean, he eats green. So a lot of the times the way a sloth's gonna work is when they're moving by, they'll eat what they can. They're not gonna seek out food. Again, they're not hunters. They're not gonna go find food.
Oh.
So I'm crawling along, here's
an
a leaf.
opportunity.
I'm crawling along, here's a bug, here's some fruit.
Okay. So they will eat bugs too, so they're not necessarily
Yes.
just herbivores. They'll
Correct.
kind of nom on some little critters as well, which is pretty
Yes,
good.
they are omnivores, but mainly they eat fruits and plants.
Okay. Now, in order to spend all your day up in a tree, eating and doing all kinds of other fun things like napping, which I think is fun, you got to have some very specific adaptations. So how is our friend here built to live high in the tree or just to dwell in a forest and stay nice and safe?
So many ways, and so many ways you can't even see. So he's not showing right now, but his hands and his claws are permanently curved. And it's not just his claws, it's also his hands. And they have a very thick pad to help support his feet, front and left. Their hair grows from the middle of their belly back,
Okay.
which is opposite of the rest of any other mammal.
Yeah, it usually goes this
And
way.
so
Okay.
when it's raining, as they're hanging upside down, the rain just goes right off their hair, doesn't get stuck in and weigh them down like it will with us.
Very cool.
So some crazy things you can't see is some of their organs are arranged differently than other mammals.
All right.
And that's to support living upside down your whole life, because they do everything upside down. They eat, they sleep, they breathe, they have babies, they mate, everything, they fight, everything is upside down. So some of their organs are actually anchored to their abdomen,
Okay.
which allows their organs to not rest on their diaphragm, which makes it easier for them to breathe.
Very
That way they're
cool.
not having to, like if we're hanging upside down, we're gonna have a hard time breathing.
Yeah.
They do not.
Wow.
Yes.
Mother Nature is pretty cool.
It is.
Created an animal that's well adapted to live exactly the life that it wants to.
Yes.
Oh, I love it so much. Now, how long has Arnie been with us at the Kansas City Zoo?
This exhibit opened the beginning of August.
Okay.
We picked him up in July. So he was in quarantine for a month
Okay.
just to make sure he was healthy and free of cooties.
Okay.
And he was.
And he was perfect. Now, you say he got here a month earlier. How do you transport a sloth across the U.S.?
Well, we did it by van, but he fit in a dog kennel.
Oh,
So-
he's small.
He
Yeah,
is. He weighs about 20 pounds, so he looks bigger than he is. There's
Yeah.
a lot of hair right there. And not very heavy, because again, he's going to live in a tree. Doesn't need to be really heavy. It would weigh down. But they just put a branch on the top of the kennel, so that way he can hook his legs up top and just rest the whole drive down.
Very cool. So he had a fun time getting here, and you were a part of that trip, right?
Yes. I like to think he had a good time.
Were you telling him lots of zoo jokes on the way here?
You know, he was asleep, so
Well,
not a lot.
Well, a snoozer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he was asleep on the way here, that must also means that he likes to nap a lot. Would you say?
He does. On average is about 15 hours a day.
Wow.
So a lot of people though say, oh, they sleep more than anything else. But dogs and cats sleep longer than that.
They sure do. They sleep all day at home when we're away at work.
So they are not the only animal that sleeps all the time.
Now, you did mention specifically one last thing, that he is a two-toed sloth, which makes me think, are there other kinds of sloths that are out there?
There are 6 different species of sloth. There are 2 types of two-toed sloths and 4 types of three-toed sloths.
Very cool.
But the tricky thing is they all have 3 toes on the back. So
Okay.
you have to look at their front feet to tell.
Hands.
Yeah.
All right.
The hands.
Very cool. Now, a lot of people were pretty excited to get our friend Arnie here. But what was the zoo's biggest reason in bringing our friend Arnie here? Not just population-wise of the public wanting, yes, finally, but is there actually a conservation reason behind why our friend Arnie is here?
Yes, this type of sloth is part of a SSP, a species survival program.
Oh, okay.
So when we decided we were interested in the sloth, we kind of put out feelers like, we're interested, what's available, because all of the species of sloths are not in zoos.
Okay.
So it's limited to what type of sloth that you could get. So he is part of that program. He is old enough to breed. So someday when they find the right female for him, hopefully we've got enough space, so hopefully someday we will have a friend for Arnie.
Arnie, I think we'd really love a baby version of you.
Agreed.
Well, this has been so much fun. We're so glad that Arnie woke up. He ate some snacks. He showed us his cool claws and everything else that's so wonderful about him. And Lindsay told us all the wonderful things that we aren't even able to see. So if you want to know more about Arnie's story, make sure you come to the Discovery Barn and check it out. He's going to be here for quite a while, and we're pretty happy about it. So thank you so much,
You're
Lindsay,
welcome.
for joining us, and we'll see you next week for another Wild Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.